Hi, and if you're watching this, you've been drawn to a Libra video reading that I did, Cindy. I think it came out the third week in July 2019. So you've reached out to me and I thank you. And there was a lot of people who reached out. Like there was over 400 at this point of people who have reached out, which really, in a sense, isn't a huge number because I think the video is at about 65,000 views now. So that's really, it's like not even 1%. It's pretty small. But still, that's the percent that counts. And I'm doing this, and I have decided at this point this video is unlisted. So it is just amongst those that contacted me, and wow, some of your stories, pretty hard. And you know, I have to say it's, you're amazing because the stuff that I've read, I couldn't have gone through it. I don't know how you did it. I really don't. It's just amazing. Obviously, God, the universe, someone knew that you had it in you to still keep going as hard as it is. That's incredible. So, and yeah, here I have my glasses on today just because I am tired. Like I have been absorbing a lot of that energy that's been coming through. And I kind of decided when I woke up this morning, I thought, no, I need to do the video today. And I want to start sending it out for myself at least. I do need closure on this. So I do need to let every one of you know that I do need closure on this. Someone made a really good comment in a video that I did, and I thought it was quite accurate, and it was really a good way to look at it. And it said, you know, Cindy, if you're the one in the lifeboat, and you know, there's a bunch of people around you that are drowning, you know, you can't jump into the water and save them all. You have to stay in that lifeboat, keep that lifeboat steady, and allow them to get to you, right? To get into lifeboat and then be safe. So, and that's really true. Like, and I'm sort of feeling like I've got half of me in the lifeboat right now and half of me in the water with you guys, and I can't be there. I can't do that. I need to come out of the water. So this is unlisted because I would like each of you to reach out to one another. I mean, I have such a list of people, and your stories are, some of your stories are actually the same. As hard as that is, to imagine that there's someone else who's gone through something similar. So one of the reasons, I know some people have said, can you make this not unlisted so that it's public? I can't be the outlet anymore. I can't. And it is because just I'm an empath too. Like it's really affecting me. And I'm missing so many other emails that, you know, people that I'm doing private readings for, they've replied to me about some information I need to know, and I never saw it. So I send them another email. They're like, I already responded. I'm like, well, so many emails. So yeah, I'm really tired. I'm really tired. But so I want to do this for you. And so what I am asking is in the comment section, if you guys can, if you do feel that you still want to talk about it with someone or you want to reach out, please be that for each other in this instance, okay? And not every single one of you who's privy to this video is actually a Libra, because some of the people that have contacted me, they contacted me because it's their spouse or it's their parent or someone who means so much to them who is a Libra and has been through that. So you're going to get different perspective and different sources that can help as well. I'm also going to recommend to you the video that I did for Libra this week. So the 4th week of July, which is a public video. I said in the beginning of that video, this has nothing to do with that other video. This is just a brand new energy, bringing it through. But there was actually some messages in there, and it was about spiritual immunity, which I think is a really important message. If that message doesn't come out today, and I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't because it's already come out, it's available for you to watch on that public video for Libra, 4th week in July 2019. And yeah, so I'm going to get started. I have a number of decks here So I don't even, I didn't come into this with a plan. I'm just going to pull cards, whichever deck I feel I'm supposed to pull cards on, and see where it goes. I am getting a message right now to pull cards from this deck. So this is my Archangel deck. So I hope everyone has tissue with them. So let's just see where this goes. Okay, something came out fast. Something came out really fast. Okay, I don't know if this is for me or for you or for all of us, but sensitivity, Archangel Haniel. You are extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. Okay, I think that's Spirit's way of saying, yeah, we're here. We're here. Okay, so this is an open dialogue from Spirit to each of you. Oh, okay, we got 3 that came out. It actually only looked like 1. I'm amazed how fast the cards are coming out. And I think it's sort of like that urgency. Spirit knows we need to do this. We need to get this out, and we need to, each of you, all of us need to move forward, which is really important. So we have, I'm going to read the cards and then I'm going to show it to you. So we have the first one. So the second one is patience. Archangel Jophiel. Your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. And I think that nurturing and patience also goes towards yourself in this. Then you had gentleness, Archangel Sandalphone. Be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. Which is part of, the healing process, right? I don't know that there's a lot that I'm going to be saying in this, at least with these cards. It feels very much so like the message is right here for you. Oh yeah, this one I get, because this has affected me in the last week and a half with what's gone on, and I know I need to make a change. I'm going grocery shopping tomorrow. Healthy lifestyle, Archangel Raphael. Eat a healthy diet, get adequate sleep, and exercise regularly for optimal health. That I can feel. I can feel that. I've just been eating like carbs and meat, and it's been horrible. Like, I don't want to eat like this anymore. But it's almost like I just feel like I've probably put a bit of weight on, and that's part of being an empath too. It's sort of that protect of the fat, is that to sort of protect yourself from energy. So we do need to, all of us, move forward in this. So the bottom of this deck is Archangel Uriel. You know what to do. Trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. So there is going to be some time for self-reflection, which I think that card is a great way at the bottom of the deck to sort of, so that's what we're doing with that pile, with that deck right now. So I'm being sort of guided to pick up this deck. This is the Return of Spirit deck. Oh, it's just about to say the garbage men are here. I'm looking out the window, but it's a garbage lady. That's a tough job. Good for her. I always admire them. Like, do you ever go out sometimes and give them like sometimes I go out with ice water, especially when it's hot. Oh, it's so hard. So I'm just shuffling, leaving this open to whatever it is, it's Spirit. Wow. Okay, so this is where it's going with Spirit. So sexuality. So this is obviously a message for certain people. I know a lot of people were harmed in a sexual sense with some of the emails that I got. Sexuality was definitely a part of the attack, the harm that took place for others. I'm going to pull out another card. We will expand on those. What I am getting here is there's 2 points. There's 2 points. It feels like there's a disconnect for some of you. Whatever happened, it's disconnected you from your connection with your sexuality. So this does need to be healed. You need to allow that connection to come back, that it's not whatever happened. Really, it's not about you. This connection is okay. It's okay to let that come together again. Oh, we got 2 more cards. That's good, because I was hopefully, wow. So we got manifest. So it really feels like to me that by acknowledging, even I think just the act of writing to me with what happened, I think even in that sense, that was part of a healing step, to be able to reach out to someone and put it in writing, like put it in writing, just even doing that. And that's a healing part to what has happened that is going to bring you back into this energy, right? Because this is really why you're here. This is why you're here. What happened isn't really why you're here. What happened to you, that's not why you're here. This is why you're here. And then the third one is integrity. So with this card, I get that at some point there can be a disconnect between your heart and your mind. And you may choose to do things based on your thoughts that do not follow your heart. Or you may choose to do things with your heart that just to your mind don't make sense anymore. And it's like you've lost that integrity between the two, like a disconnect again, which is what we have here. These 2 parts need to come together again. And really, in a sense, your mind is the sexiest part of you, right? Like, it's all up here. It absolutely is. It's all up here. And if there's a disconnect with the heart, which is, you know, where your soul center, for me is, it's in my heart. There's actually been a study done when someone has a broken heart. They've analyzed the heart. There's these little tiny connective tissues, almost like tendon type muscly tissues within the heart. And when someone does experience a horrible heartbreak, those little tiny tissues actually snap and break in the heart. So there's actually some truth to that, that when you feel that, it's actually real. Those little tissues in your heart are snapping, and it's causing that ache, that pain, that sadness. So this integrity, I feel like this is sort of the first step, is allowing it, just acknowledging that, you know what, even on a physical level, your heart has been hurt from whatever happened. But it's sort of time to connect it again. Connect it again. Okay, so this is interesting. This has come up a lot. Right, this is on the bottom. And I think like just the act, like I said, of writing to me, it was a step for you to heal, to move past this, to put it in writing. You could see it, it's tangible, it's there. You've sent it off into the universe as soon as you hit send. That takes a lot of guts to do that. Takes a lot of guts to do that, to just send that story, that painful story to someone, right? Just to put it out there in the ether. I did a private reading. I won't go into details because it was a private reading, and she may very well be watching this video because she was a Libra. And this came up for her, and it was about something that, you know, you can't speak. You can't speak it. It doesn't feel like you can speak it. These vibrational energies of sound here, they're sort of being cut off by this closed mouth for me. But it's something you can write. So there is something in that for you, to write it out. I'm going to continue with, I'm going to the Shaman Oracle deck now. So I'm just shuffling. I'm not asking any questions. Oh, wow. the Ancient Ones, this is really, well, it's card number 1, for one thing. This is like, I would say probably the oldest energy. This is the oldest energy for me in this deck. Now, when I say that, I mean one of the other oldest energies for me is the underworld. And I think this has come up to remind me of that, because there was a thought that I had that I wanted to express in this video at some point. And I'm sorry if this is too low. This is just my level, and my family's home too, so I don't want everyone to hear this, what I'm, you know, what's going on between us. So jack up your sound if I'm too low. But the Ancient Ones, this is energy that actually, for me, is part of what created the dark energy. Because there was a realization that with only light, we couldn't see the light. Like, with only happiness, we couldn't know the happiness, right? So the Ancient Ones are sort of here because, yes, in a sense, they look at each one of us like their child. We're each their child. And they want us to learn our lessons, but they also want us to move out of them. That dark energy wasn't created for you to sit into it. And this is where the story comes in. This woke me up at 3:30 this morning, and this was going through my head. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, that's exactly how it works. Because I'm always trying to explain to everyone how the darker parts of existence, the lower vibrations work, the darkness works. So here's what woke me up this morning. Imagine, if you will, a beautiful seed, you know, a little seed, a seed from a tree, from a plant, something. It sits on the surface of the soil. It sits there, right? This little seed, it's sitting there. I'm gonna find something here that's small. I don't have anything. Oh, wait, no, okay, here we go. It's crystal. It sits there, it sits on the surface. The sun shines on it. It rains a little bit. The sun shines on it. It's in the light, it's in the light. Nothing's happening. It's not growing. If it even, perchance, has enough rainfall happen that the bottom part of it can stay moist and some roots can get down, it often, as the stem pushes through the, like that little crust of the seed that encases it, it often, have you seen it? It just burns off, it pinches off, it gets stuck, it hardens. It never actually grows sitting in the sun. It doesn't grow sitting in the sun. So if this seed, something buries it, you know, a squirrel comes around, buries it, it's in the dirt, it's down in the dirt, it's in the darkness. It's in the darkness, and depending how deep that seed was placed, it's pure darkness. It's down in the dirt. It's completely dark, right? It's dark. It's not where it's going to live and stay, but it's where it's going to hatch and grow and become strong. So it sits in there. It sits in that dirt. The sun is shining. It doesn't know the sun is shining, has no idea the sun is shining. It's raining, so some of that moisture comes in. The roots will start to grow a little bit because the darkness is actually nurturing it. The darkness is, in a strange way, protecting it. And in a strange way, removing that part of this seed cover so that when that stem comes out because it knows it's not supposed to live in the darkness, but that's where I started. That's where I started. And for some of you, that is where you started, because this, what happened to you happened very, very young in life. And as it pushes, just that friction in the soil, that deep, dark area, and the moisture in that deep, dark area, which isn't a place it wants to stay, but it's the place where it allowed the seed shaft part, to gently pull away so that this new stem can come up. And when that stem comes up, do you know how strong that stem is? As soon as it breaches the darkness and it's no longer in the dirt, that stem, it has done that, like worked its way. The wind is blowing, it's sitting like that. It's just sitting like that. It's so strong because it came through the darkness, and it wasn't meant to stay in the darkness. That's just where it hatched out. It hatched out of the darkness, and that's what made it strong. So if you have ever seen a plant too that does manage to start on the surface, it tends to kind of come out, and if it didn't burn off at the tip in that seed shaft, it often, like, it comes out and then it curves up again, and then like the wind controls it, and it doesn't have a strong straight stem. That's what woke me up this morning. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. That's an analogy for it, for this darkness. That's why the ancient ones, as hard as it is to understand, from this sort of love and divine energy, that darkness would be created. And it is because of that. The only issue we run into is people that don't understand darkness, and they use it against others, or they allow it to impregnate them and guide them. Whereas you're only supposed to allow, darkness is only supposed to be there for the lesson, for the strength. And then we have to learn to cast it off. You have to cast off that seed shaft, and that's all that was left of when you were in the darkness, and move up into the light. Move up into the light. And a good example of that is very often when we hear of, adults that molest kids or do bad things to kids. That happened to them when they were kids, but they didn't shove it off. They didn't remove that. They didn't realize that that wasn't their darkness. That was someone else's darkness. And that person directed it towards them. Well, it's your choice to, I'm coming up out of the dirt. I'm leaving that behind, right? So I really feel like that card came forward because I actually forgot about that. When you wake up in the middle of the night and you have this brilliant idea or something comes to you, and then you forget about it. Well, thank you, Ancient Ones, for reminding me of that story, of the seed in the dirt. It needs to come through the darkness first. So let's see what else we can get here. So you have the owl. This is really, for me, it's really like the all-seeing and the all-knowing. I'm going to actually ask for a clarification on this. I think for some of you that was a simple explanation, and it was like, yeah, I know. So, but I don't. So I'm going to get some more information. Maybe something will come out. And well, I was told to look at the bottom. So we have magic, and it's number 33. Takes me back to the manifestation card. All seen and all knowing. Okay, the message is coming in now. So all seen and all knowing. So in a sense, what you've been through kind of brings you to this level. Brings you to this level of all seen and all knowing. So a lot of people can't even comprehend. I can't even comprehend what some of you have been through. Like, I can't. I really cannot. And I don't know how you walk, how you take those steps. You're absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Like, anything that I'm saying that's coming from my lips is really, it's not coming from me. I'm just being a conduit, because as a person, I wouldn't even know how to approach you, how to talk to you. And that's part of the reason I haven't really responded to any of the emails. Well, for one, I can't respond to 400. I just can't. And there was one person in one of the videos that, I said I had like 150 emails at one point. 150 come in. She said, well, I get 150 at work every day. Well, good for you. I'm not at work, for one thing. Second thing, these aren't emails asking you if you can go to HR and find a form to get your vacation pay. Okay? Those are not the kind of emails that are coming in. One person told me about a friend who he saw murdered, and then they burned his body. Okay? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is really some heavy stuff that has come through. And I'm not up for it. I read this and I'm like, how are you functioning? Like, you're incredible. You're incredible, right? Like, the only thing left for you is to release your magic. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just to come through what some of you have been through. I'm still going to pull out the tarot for the owl card and just see if anything else comes out, or there's anything that Spirit would like to talk to us about. Wow. Okay, this is interesting. So there's four cards. So we have the Eight of Swords. So there was, well, probably for all of you, like from what I've read, an inferno, like really an inferno behind you. There was protection. I mean, you're still here. Or if you're here for someone who is a friend or a spouse or a relative who's a Libra, a loved one who's a Libra, and you're here for them, or you've sent them to this video, like, you know that there's been some protection. Even if it wasn't a person in your life, there was some sort of spiritual protection trying to protect you from this. Now, I'm getting the message that for some of you, yes, the inferno is sort of like still back there, but you can actually walk away from it, remember? Because you're that seed, that seedling coming through that darkness. But now it's time to remove the seed shaft and see the light, remove these bonds that are not that tight, and walk forward. And, you know, when you see the next card, this is the end of that. This is, look at this full moon. That is a full cycle change. And look at how, I've never noticed that before. It's like this full moon has come out of this cauldron, like magic. It's like magic, right? It's like the witch's cauldron. You have the ability to actually create a brand new full cycle change for yourself. The magic within you. You can do this. Drop what it is that happened. Walk out from it. Actually, I actually feel like you guys are the Grim Reaper because you've been through so much darkness. You're actually stepping over what is left of the pain of what you went through, and you're walking the death of it. It's done. You've left it behind. You're the one killing it. You're not. This is your cycle change. You're actually the Grim Reaper in this card. You are putting a death to it, in a sense. Absolutely. You're the one that has the sickle. It's your choice when you want to do that, to put a death to it. And quite frankly, it might just be about writing it and releasing it. Releasing it. This death to that. It's done. You're coming out. You're either, I see you all as in three different stages. I see some of you are already that seedling that has just come out of the dirt, out of the darkness, and you feel the light, and that's where you want to go. You keep going because you've done it. You've done it. You've put a death to that cycle. Some of you, I feel like you're just breaching the top of the soil, and you still feel a little bit overwhelmed, like I still need to push through a bit, but the light is right there. And then for some of you, I feel like you're down a little bit deeper in the soil, but you know, you can be digging and digging and pushing through and think to yourself, God, I could still have days left, and then you stop. But what you didn't realize is you had millimeters, or what is it? I don't know, there's a lot of Americans watching, so metric, or not metric, the other thing, imperial? Yeah, like, I don't know what, inch, quarter inch, less than that, whatever's less than like a quarter inch, a third of an inch, I don't understand that, a millimeter. So to go, like you were so close. I mean, you were here. You are so close. If you were here, you are so close to embracing the Grim Reaper within you, taking your sickle in hand and putting a death to what that was. Because you're moving, what you are, what you've been is still protected. This storm, doesn't this storm look like it's coming to an end in a sense? Like it's kind of bright in the background. So this storm is coming to an end. Actually, most of the time this card always reads that he's putting that on to protect from a storm, but I'm getting this clear message like this storm is ending. The puddles, because the puddles are already there, so there was a storm, and there's not a lot of rain coming down. It's like those last few drops at the end of a storm, and it's time to lift off whatever it was you felt you had to protect. When you're ready to lift off whatever you felt you had to protect and start living in abundance again. Start moving forward in abundance again. So this is the fourth card that came out. And look, there's a full moon here too. So at this point, I feel like you will be in that brand new cycle. And cups are about deep feelings. Pages are about, you know, new energy, learning. So it's almost like now it's time to learn again how to feel. It's time to learn how to feel again. I'm sort of sensing that a lot of you have closed that off. Closed off the feeling, right? There is this disconnect. And, you know, when I said the sexuality, that did have to do with anyone who had a story based on that, whether it was molestation or rape or whatever. But the important message is your mind is your most sexual part of you, but it's sexy because that's where your imagination is. That's where your personality is. That's where your ego is, which is also important. Your ego has probably been working overtime a lot lately to protect you with thoughts like, don't do that again, let's not do that, don't trust that person, let's not go there, let's not do that, I don't know if I could do, like that sort of thinking that the ego will do, because the ego does want to protect you, but because it's disconnected, the heart, this part here, the soul, it's like, no, no, no. Remember, you have spiritual immunity. You're immune now, okay? So this can be connected again. It's okay. That's not going to happen again to you. So it's learning to feel again, learning to feel deeply. And I feel that for many of you, there's someone around you that is a good example of learning how to feel. I mean, this page is showing these people how to drink from that cup with full abandonment. Let that, whatever that sweet drink is, let it just run down your face. Pisces, there may be some Pisces around you that are that person. Okay. I'm going to go to the fairies now. The fairies play in darkness. And then they come back into the light. The fairies go to darkness for fun. And then they come back into the light for fun. They really get it. Only because they're ancient. And you know, whenever I say they really get it, or Spirit gets it, or this is this message from Spirit, it's because Spirit has done it. You don't have guides, you don't have people, spiritual energies, anything around you, supporting you, helping you, unless it's been through it. As hard as that is to believe. I mean, for what you've been through, I feel deeply like in another life, well, in your spirit life, there will be instances where you do not manifest down here because you will be a guide for someone who's going through what you went through. If that just right there is enough to let you know that there is a reason for this, there is, because unfortunately, there will be other people that continue to use the dark energy in a way that it shouldn't be used. And they direct that towards other people, and someone else will be in this situation in a three-dimensional existence. But you're going to be that guide, right? You're going to be all seen and all knowing because you will have experienced it. It's a tough job. I mean, if you took that on, that's pretty tough. So let's just see what comes out with the fairies. I'm still bonding with the fairy deck. The Look. I'm going to look this up in the book. Well, that's funny because it's called The Look. I want to know a little bit more about this. The book is right here. Number 60. Oh, sorry, it's the poke. See, it's hard to read that writing, isn't it? I guess it's a P. It's the poke. Well, I'm glad I looked it up. The poke, shape changer, good and bad, bad and good, paradox, resolution. The poke is a shape changer. I hope you have time here. There's a bit here. I'm going to read the whole thing, all right? We're doing this right. Okay, the poke is a shape changer. He appears in whatever guise he thinks will be most confusing to you, depending on his purpose. Brian wrote, who is the creator of Fairies. Brian wrote, quote, "He weaves spells to bemuse our senses and confuse our judgment. He is a master of the arts and delusion, holding up a distorting mirror to reveal the bad in the good and the good in the bad," unquote. The poke also wishes to show us the bad and what we think to be good and vice versa. This may confuse us further, or it may help us to gain a more balanced understanding of how things really are. He is very against rigid mindsets and, in his own way, encourages the development of inquiring minds. His true face? I'm not certain that a shape changer even has a true face, though he did hold still long enough for Brian to paint him. However, the poke is very proud of the face he assumes. With him, he offers us contradictions and paradoxes, and finds it all too easy to confuse our judgment because we are often not thinking very clearly anyway. Sometimes we even hold two or more contradictory beliefs in boxes in our minds. If one is true, we think when we finally consider them, then the other must be false. Not so. Perhaps both are false. Perhaps both are partly true and partly false. We tend to cling desperately to our beliefs, and even when they make no sense to others or are counter to our actual experience. Our paradoxes and confusions are self-created, and the poke need only dress them up a bit, add a little sparkle, and dangle them before us in order to induce confusion. In that confusion, we are likely to believe almost anything someone presents to us, just to feel as if we have a metaphorical anchor in reality. His challenge for us is to wake up, to stop projecting our confusions on reality. Once we have seen the truth, seeming contradictions and paradoxes melt away. In the manner of realizing the solution to a Zen koan like, what is the sound of one hand clapping? When we get the answer, usually by a burst of insight cutting through the confusion and paradoxes, it always seems so simple, and we wonder how we could have been in such a tizzy about so simple a thing. We wonder why everyone doesn't understand this so very obvious thing. So now it says starter reading. So if, like, specifically if this comes up for reading, okay. This is only 2 paragraphs, so hang tight. So when this is in your reading, it is time for the resolution of seeing contradictions and paradoxes in the situation. Someone or some part of the situation is cloaked in confusion, and our muddled thoughts must be stripped away, revealing truth. We just need to think about it. The information we needed is now available to us, and as soon as we have that burst of insight and get it, it's time for us to make changes based on our newly clear understanding. Alternatively, it may be time for us to make a reality check on the good, bad labels we put on things. Make a list of the good, possibly even surprising things, about this situation. And another list about the bad ones. I can't believe you guys are getting this. If you are not in the habit of seeing the good in the bad and the bad in the good, having preferred a black and white world rather than one with colors, you may need some help in learning to do this. Wow. I honestly didn't think like we would get some sort of an answer from spirit about what should you do. I thought this was the closest to, but it is. It's making that list. This is a challenge. Some of those stories that I read, honestly, how you write, what is the good in that? But play that over and over again. What I just read, play it over and over again and really let it resonate with you in some sense. This shapeshifter, right? The poke. And then specifically in the situation itself, there may not be anything good, but what came good out of it? What grew within you? What grew within others? What are you able to help others with? There's got to be, there has to always be, because even when that little seed was coming through the darkness, just as he poked out into the light, and you know, maybe there's a little bug come by and say, oh wow, what's it like down in that dirt down there? Oh my God, it was horrible. You know, it was so dark. I never thought I was going to reach the light. I thought that's my existence. I thought that's what I was going to be forever. Down in that darkness, I thought that's where I would be forever. Down in that darkness. Oh, the bug said. But look, like you have a great root system. And look at how strong you are. I just saw that guy. He was developing on the dirt. He was in the sun the whole time. He looks all crooked and weird. Oh, okay. Well, I guess maybe that's one good thing. I just looked at the bottom. The fairy godmother. Okay, I'm compelled to read it. I'm compelled to read it. 25. Whoa, I'm just flinging cards around here. Okay, this is what I get from it. So the good and the bad is what I'm getting in this again. So the gifts that you receive is how you interpret it. She has the apple, but she also has like this magic ball to me, which is, you know, like a little oracle ball or a crystal ball to make a wish come true. It can either be good or bad depending on, you know, I don't even have to read it, depending on what you choose. You know, her hands are crossed too. Do you want the left hand or the right hand? Okay, there you go. See what I mean? Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so the card that flew out, when is it ever going to end? The card that flew out is the Lady of the Harvest. I think this is a good way to end it, because to me this says, like, you're poking through and you're about to bloom and become this wonderful thing, and you can harvest anything that you want. You're moving into that cycle of now harvesting, not just trying to survive and poke through that darkness. So my friends, I hope that was good. That actually seemed way beyond my expectations. I'm going to tell you, I had low expectations. I thought, I don't know how Spirit can even give anyone guidance on all the stuff that I read. And all the things that you experienced. And they're all different. And like I said, some of them are even actually the same. But wow, that was just an amazing card to pull out. There you go. So I leave you with the poke. And I do ask you to not email me, as much as I love each one of you, but I do need to move past this now. And for me, this is a closure. I have to physically say that. I have to physically say that and remove myself from this energy. I can already feel it. I can already feel it. I can actually feel it. It feels so much better. And I feel really good about being honest with each of you and asking you not to email me. Please don't. Unless you want a private reading or something, or just want to say, Cindy, I love you. You're great. Have a good day. That's good. I can take that energy. I can take that energy. Because I do. I love every one of you. I'm not going to get emotional. I promise myself I'm going to get emotional. And I want you to be there for each other. I think you can fill up this comment section with so much resolution, so much healing, and so much love. And that is why I've kept it unlisted. If someone really wants to see this video, they can send me an email because I will still be getting them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this today. It's Friday, July, so it's 26th, I think. So when I recorded this, it'll say in the bottom. I'm going to start from the earliest email I received. It's going to be a generic message thanking you for your email. You probably already know this now because you clicked on this, so I don't have to explain it, but and it's going to have a link to this. And then I'm just going to, every email that I send, that I reply to yours, I am going to delete it because I am putting closure on it for me. And I really hope that you are able to start doing that for yourself, because you need to start living like the rest of us and experience the glorious aspect of this life. Wow. Just wow. I don't know, spirit. I don't know. I didn't expect this when I started a YouTube channel. I really didn't. I was just having fun with the tarot. Okay. Thanks, guys. And I will be in the comment section. Okay? So it's not like I'm just gone. I just can't have it in my email anymore. It's confusing me and it's weighing me down. Okay. Bye.